Today's Ask the Author question is, where do you get your information and ideas for your books? My first nonfiction a lot of it came from my blogs that I had at the time, and some additional information. And then the last chapter was about my marriage. Now for the Sophie Lee trilogy, it started off as a story that I started writing in middle school. It has kind of become a family affair, which is cool. And so for The Protector, we, as in me and my parents, sat at a table and I made a checklist of the things they thought they should be in the book. And then I kind of worked around that. And then, but I'm not very good at outlining. I personally find that I'm not nearly as creative as if I just sit down and let the story write itself. But I will have certain key points that I would like to touch. And sometimes, because I do it that way, it will spin off in a direction that either adds to the story or makes me tweak what I thought I was going to write about. But that's kind of how that works. Now, as for specifics, so The Protector was actually really fun to write because, as you guys know, I was coming on in my stories and asking you for advice, like where should they go, and what you guys thought should happen and things like that. And so getting your guys' feedback by having you answer the silly questions and the stories and sharing some snippets from the book really, I think, shaped it into the story it is today. And I will most likely be doing that for Dead Draw, which is the very last one. So stay tuned on here for sure. Watch my stories regularly because you never know when I'm going to get stuck and kind of want your opinion on which direction maybe I should go or what your advice is. Because this time, like when I was trying to figure out if you guys understood how creepy the man with the cane was by asking you your thoughts and opinions of what a psychopath was, it actually allowed me to realize that a lot of people didn't have that connection with him. So I went back and was able to rewrite some of his sections and make that a little more clear about how dark he was. And so getting your guys' feedback along the way helped me get out of slumps. It helped me kind of direct which direction I was considering, which way to go. And it was just really fun to really have you guys participate. As for like descriptions of places and things like that, Google and I are very close. I try my best to be as legit as possible and as accurate as possible. Now, obviously, this book is not taking place during COVID. So if my business hours are off or things like that, when they go to a restaurant or a library, I try to figure out what it might have been before COVID, which is really hard to imagine anymore. But I pull up pictures so that way I can try to describe it the way I see it in the pictures. So I do try to keep as much accuracy when it comes to when they go to certain places. Obviously, Kansas City, I know by the back of my hand because it's my hometown, but downtown Tennessee and New Orleans I've been to several times, but it's been a while, things like that. So I will Google and look up pictures and facts and things like that. The story itself comes from my head with my parents' assistance, but yeah, so that's just some of the places that information's coming from, whether it's already in my head, my parents, Google, or you guys. I don't have a problem branching out and seeing what will help make this story better.